Whether we call them magi, wise men, three kings, astrologers, I really don't want to focus on that today. We know that there's some greatness there. We know that they followed a star, and because of their persistence, they saw the radiance of the newborn king. Now, this is the 12th time that I have preached on the Feast of the Epiphany. I've looked back on certain notes that I have, and I want to share with you today the fact that I find this to be one of the most difficult feasts to celebrate and to preach about. Now, there's tons and tons of material that we can focus on. And I think that's part of my problem. There's so much wonderment that it's so difficult to kind of nail down one kind of aspect and to focus on it because you lose the big picture. And so, thank God for a snowstorm this week. Oh, by the way, we got some snow. I don't know if anybody else got any. But I took some time, and I really reflected and prayed over the gospel that we are each all very, very familiar with. The story of the three wise men, the magi, the three kings. And I kept focusing my attention on the gifts that they gave to the child Jesus. Each gift has a significance. And I said, no, stop it. What else is here? There's the beauty of a mother holding her child. There's the brilliance of the star. And I started focusing on the three individuals themselves. Now, these are very educated men. They're probably very wealthy. They would have had a prominence in society. I started to really think and to ask the Lord, oh, tell me a little bit more about these guys. There's something here. There's something that we need to realize and to recognize about them. And I had my own epiphany. Something happened in my prayer. It dawned on me that here they are, three men of great importance. They're summoned by King Herod. I'm not going to rehash the gospel. We know the story. But what they did next is the amazing thing. They went in search of the Christ child together. They didn't go as individuals. They didn't run ahead so that one could get there before the other. They did it together. They were a community. They were a team. They enter the house together. And they give praise to God together. It's that aspect that I have never really focused on. My guess is that might be real for you too. But remember something. Each of us is seeking the child. Each of us is seeking to see Jesus. Sometimes we're like Zacchaeus and we run up the tree. But we need to be like the wise men, these magi. And we need to go together. We need to come together as a community of faith to seek him. We do so when we welcome back those who have been estranged from the practice of their faith. We do so when we accept someone and we forgive someone who might be different from us. This is what the three wise men teach us, that we can't go it alone. I've said this before, that in a community, there are all different types of levels where we are at. Some of our parishioners are flying really high because good things have happened in their life recently. We have some members of our parish family who are really low, who are downcast, who have no real reason to hope, or so they think. And then, for the majority of us, we kind of just bob along, and we wait for either something good to happen or something bad to happen. But that's the point of a community. We're there to support one another, just like the wise men did. They supported one another. And when they did that, they were able to recognize the brilliance, and they were guided by that star, and they saw greatness himself. They saw the Word made flesh, and they gave praise. They gave glory to God. Then they offered their gifts. And so here's the challenge for us. As a community, we need to seek the child. We need to seek Jesus here and now. We need to seek Jesus in Dartmouth and in New Bedford and in Westport and wherever else we might live. We need to seek him together. And when we find him, together we rejoice that he has come to dwell with us. Word made flesh. We need to see the child here in the midst of this community. We need to see the child in the word that we've just proclaimed. We need to encounter Jesus in the Eucharist, body, blood, soul, and divinity that comes to us. But we don't do it alone. We do it as a community of faith. And when we do it as a community of faith, when we seek the Christ together, then our joy is complete. That is the gift that Christ gives us on this Epiphany, as we offer him the gift of our very self. And so what will we give the Christ child as a gift this year? This new year that has just begun. It only in its infancy, we have 361 days left before 2015. What are we going to give the Lord who has given us so much? The gift of forgiveness, the gift of himself in the Eucharist, and in the gift of one another. Those are the gifts that keep giving all year long, not just during this Christmas season. So having said enough, Merry Christmas.